lift the latch and the morning leans in. Cool air slips past the sill and under my skin. The curtains move like they know my name, and the room gets lighter, frame by frame. I fold the hour I was carrying tight, set it down near the edge of the light. Old worries leave like shoes at the door. I do not need their weight anymore. I breathe in the stars I could not see. I breathe out the version that clung to me. A small white page, a quiet first line, a softer heart, a steadier mind. The kettle hums in the other room, while dust turns silver in the open bloom. I let the fresh day cross my palms, and everything bends toward calm. I'm grateful for the blue tin bowl by the sink, for your boots by the door after rain, for the way you said my name like you knew it could hold both the bruise and the balm. I'm grateful for the burnt toast morning and the way we laughed at the smoke, for the kettle's thin whistle at dawn and the spoon tapping one small note. I'm grateful for the porch light on late nights, for the moths circling lazy and lost, for the tender hand you laid on my shoulder when I could not find my own. I'm grateful for the hard months too, for the slammed words and the long quiet, for the dishes left in the crowded sink, and the tears I swallowed by the window. I'm grateful we did not turn away when the truth sat heavy between us, for the rough patch that taught my hands how to stay open instead of tight. I'm grateful for the day we stood still and let the wind say what it wanted, for the cracked mud, the sore knees, the prayer that even this could still be a kindness. I'm grateful for the field after harvest, for the stubble catching gold at dusk, for the dog-eared map of our little years, and the pencil marks on the door frame. I'm grateful for the apple bruises, for the jam jarring on my thumb, for the winter blanket pulled to our chins and the thaw coming slow in the wall. I'm grateful for the whole the gifts I could not have named then, that only time taught me to see. So I leave this folded like linen, soft at the edges, worn and true. Every bright thing, every broken thing, all of it a gift from you. I sorted the corners by year, your laugh in the kitchen, your coat on the chair, the birthday cake smear on your sleeve, a thumbprint of summer still stuck to the sleeve. I folded the proofs of our days, the beach, the bad haircut, the rain in the parade. I laid them in order by light, then watched how the paper held on to the light. I gathered the photos of us into one soft envelope, cream-colored dust, not lit by the sink, not by rage, just moved to the side with the bills in the page. If I open it later, I know some things still arrive when they need time to grow. So I leave that small packet alone, like seed in a drawer, like a note unsent home. We carry those paperbacks home in a canvas bag, your thumb in the margin, mine on the map. The porch light faded on the kitchen tiles, and every chapter stayed with us a little while. Now I stack them by the front desk glass, for little hands and rainy afternoons to pass. Let strangers find the foxed up spine, and read the names we wrote in pencil line. I want the pages to wander far, to a child with a felt-tip star, to a lonely bench by the winter trees, to someone who believes what I once believed. So take these stories, leave them where they can breathe, between bright spines and quiet, grateful sleeves. If love was ink, let it loosen and fly. Let another heart underline what passed us by. I stood beneath the dark and watched the roof of night. The moon hung like a lantern over all we left behind. Your hand still in my memory, like warmth that against my skin. I held it for a moment, then let the silence in. I thank you for the miles and all we learned to be, for every small forgiven thing you gave so gently to me. The road behind us faded like footprints in the sand. I folded up inside me like a letter in my hand. Now I look forward through the silver field above, past the scattered sparks of distance, toward the shape of coming love. If I am still and open, I can hear my heart align with the patient moving heavens and the future drawing lines. So I lift my face again and let the dark be kind. The stars are not an ending, they are a way to find. The day unbuttons slow, orange on the railing. Your shadow leans across the porch like it knows how to stay. The clouds go thin and rose, the wind turns gentle. I let the moment pass through me like water through my hands. Amber on the water, lavender on your face. I used to fear the closing, now I see its grace. The window holds the gold, then softly lets it go. A sparrow folds the evening in and leaves the sky alone. The horizon grows quiet, one long breath at a time. I learned that letting go can still feel like home. Amber on the water, lavender on your face. I used to fear the closing, now I see its grace. If every door must soften, if every light must fade, I'll meet the dark with open hands and bless the shape it made. So let the colors deepen, let the last warmth stay. An ending can be beautiful when it learns to pray. Sit by the beans and the thyme, morning in my apron, cold earth turning sweet again. A bud opens small green fist, like it learned patience from the rain in the soil. You can see it in the branches, the way they keep their promise. Bare hands first, then blossoms. The old pear tree reaches slowly and never asks the sky for more than it can hold. Nature knows the soft way when to loosen, when to rise. I let the weight fall gently, and the world finds me alive. Green on the edge of brown, breath in the broken ground. Even the shed door rots back, even the stone steps wear thin. Still something small is coming through the crack by the fence. It does not hurry, it does not doubt. So I leave the gate unlatched, for the bees, for the wind, for the days that change me. If I must bend, I bend. If I must bloom, I gloom, and keep my hands in the light. I slid the band from my hand. After all those years of weather, your name still fit the shape of it, like rain that leaves a mark on leather. I held it up to the lamp and watched the gold go softer. I found a little velvet box hidden in the desk by the window. It was small enough for one last truth, and kind enough for what I know. I laid the ring inside with care, like setting down a heavy winter. There was no break in my voice, no need to sharpen the memory. I thank the ache for keeping me, and thank the joy for staying with me. Then I closed the lid so gently, it felt like blessing, not ending. I touch the hallway wall like it knows my name. The kettle's gone cold, but the sink still holds its shine. I thank the little shelf for holding up our days. Then I stand in the kitchen with my hand on the frame. I pass the blue front room where the curtains breathed all spring. Dust on the piano lid like the ghost of a song. I thank the cracked window for the morning it let in, and the floorboards under me for carrying me along. In the back the stack of folded plans, by the chair with the torn seam, and the book left open wide. I thank the quiet corners for keeping what they can, for holding every echo that I'm leaving here inside. Upstairs, the bedroom waits, with the lamp pulled down low. I whisper to the mirror in the empty side of bed. I thank the soft old blanket for the nights it learned my shape. Then I turn the brass key slow and hear the lock click shut behind. I set the cup by the sink and watch the steam fade slow. The chair by the window still knows your shape in the glow. The road looked longer at first, like winter under glass, but the morning kept arriving and I let the shadow pass. There's a field beyond the houses where the grass leans into sun. The same wind that used to find us now keeps moving, carrying on. I thought your empty side of bed would make the whole room ache, but the quilt still holds the pattern and the light still wakes. I can see the far-off season where the garden takes its time. New hands on the fence posts, new fruit on the vine, and I won't call it forgetting if I learn to walk ahead. Some sweet doors open wider when the old ones stay unwed. So I trace the morning open with my fingers on the frame. Future in the weather, beautiful still the same. I light a small candle at the edge of your shelf, gold on the table and quiet by itself. I say your name once, like a seam in the air, then the room holds its breath and I leave it there. The wick leans over like it knows what to do. Little bright letter folding into blue. I watch the wax soften at the foot of the flame, till the circle around it forgets your name. So burn, little ember, take all that you can, make a soft little river from a still little hand. I will not call keep on becoming a warmer goodbye. Is empty and the window turns pale, I'll set down the matches and trace your last trail. Then the smoke lifts slowly like a thin white thread, and I rest with the night where your name has led. The park past slow, past the bench by the sycamore. Your coffee cup ghost in my hands, in the cold little shape of before. The pond held the gray sky still, and a dog ran through my thoughts. Leaves kept turning under my shoes like pages let go one by one. I passed the gate we laughed beside, where summer had nearly begun. Your name sat quiet on my tongue like a coin I could not spend. The air was full of ending and kind enough to let me through. I stood where the maples bowed and learned how soft a loss can move. So I left with my pockets light and the whole park behind me. Caught in the reeds again, one smooth pebble in my palm like a small held breath. The water wore the evening thin, pulled on the edge then gone within. I let it go, to learn how to leave a mark. It sank so gently and the circles ran farther than my hands. What we were became the stream, soft and brief and still moving. Cut white through the open air. The surface kept your outline there until the last string lost its voice and folded back to dark. that is all we are. A touch that travels, then lets go. Not a wound, not a warning, just a ripple teaching me. So I walked on with empty hands, past the cattails and the bent fence line, carrying the quiet the water left, like a lamb held low. I tipped the bag and watched the grounds fall thin into the last small scoop we saved for a quiet morning. Your mug waits by the sink with a ring of steam at the rim, and I pour it slow like I'm trying to keep you here. The kitchen is still, except for the spoon touching the ceramic and my hand on the handle. I let the scent rise and meet me halfway, like your sweater in the chair after you left for the day. This is the last cup from the bag we bought together, dark and gentle, sweetening the air between us. I take one slow breath and let the warmth stay longer. One final time, I taste what we were. There's a crack in the lid and a little gold stain on the paper from the store where you reached for my wrist. I remember your laugh when I brewed it too strong, and you said it was fine as long as it held. So I stand by the window with my quiet little ritual, watching the morning fold into the edge of the cups. No need to hurry what already ends. I can be tender with it, I can be tender with this. This is the last cup from the bag we bought together, dark and gentle, sweetening the air between us. I take one slow breath and let the warmth stay longer. One final time, I taste what we were. I won't pretend this doesn't ache, but the ache is soft today, like folded cloth. The sink will be clean, the shelf will be bare, and I will still keep the shape of your hand. A final sip, a final warmth. The morning opens, and I let it go. Dug the earth by the fence line with dirt under my nails, a little green twig in my hands, shaking in the wind. I set it down like a promise and cover the roots with care. The soil was cool and dark, it held the morning rain. I pressed pressed the ground with my palm and watched it settle slow. No names were spoken there, just room for something new. Soon it will lean toward the sun, with leaves like open hands. It will learn the map of weather and the songs of passing bees. I wanted proof that growing can begin with a single point. So I watered the base once more and stepped back from the fence. The yard looked the same, then different, as if it knew ahead. A small green life in the backyard, already making home. I set the kettle down slow by the fire in the blue hour. Steam curls up like a question, and I let it. New journal in my hands, cream paper, sharp corners. First page shining back at me like clean snow. Chair sighs when I lean in, my tea goes softly bitter. I trace the edge of the cover with one thumb. Outside, the wind keeps moving. Inside, nothing asks for more. The silence feels kind enough to stay. Let the pen rest in my palm. The page holds all that I am before it speaks. Then a small line comes through me like a lamp being lit. Not every beginning shouts, some just wait. Folded your last letter into a square of blue. The paper bent like winter, but your words stayed true. I set it in the drawer beside the silver key, where all the things we ended can rest in memory. I did not break I did not bend, I just let go of what could not mend. Soft goodbye, I leave it there in the dark wood and the clean air. Soft goodbye, I close the day, I hold your name and set it away. The house was very quiet, the kettle lost its steam, the window kept the pale rain moving through the beam. I stood there with my hands full of all I couldn't say, and kissed the edge of leaving before I walked away. I did not fall, I did not fail, I laid our love like a folded sail. Soft goodbye, I leave it there in the dark wood and the clean air. Soft goodbye, I close the day, I hold your name and set it away. If you should ask for me, I'll be the gentle trace, a folded paper sleeping in a small safe place. No storm in my throat now, no need to stay and ache, just one last careful motion and one small heart to make. Soft goodbye, I leave it there in the dark wood and the clean air. Soft goodbye, I choose the sky with empty hands and kind eyes. I'm grateful for the kettle on your stove, for chip blue cups and the rain on your windows, for the way you left me the last olive from the bowl, and the note on the fridge in your crooked hand. I'm grateful for your boots by the door, for the scarf you forgot on the old porch chair, for early train platforms and the bread we burned, for learning your laugh in a room full of strangers. I'm grateful for the hard days too, for the door that slammed and the tears we carried, for the long silence after words went sharp, for the healing that came plates in the sink and the cracks in the light, for the truth that arrived with tired eyes, and the way we stayed when it would have been easier to go. I carry the ache like a folded map. I carry your kindness like a stone in my coat. Some gifts arrive dressed as bruises, some open slowly like fruit in the sun. I'm grateful for the morning you hummed at the sink, for the small brave touch of your hand on my back, for the bread rising while the world went quiet, for the calendar pages and the years we made. I'm grateful for all of it, the soft, the rough, the wholly ordinary. If I had to name one mercy, it would be this: we were here and it mattered. Step outside barefoot on the porch, still cool. The kettle leaves a small steam trail over the sink and the dish towel. My hair catches the day before I ask it to. The yard smells like damp cedar, and last night folded away. A sparrow skips the fence line like it has nowhere to be. I breathe in and let it unclench the shape of me. Something in the air says easy, something in my chest says stay. I can feel the edge of sorrow softening a little way. Sun on my face, and I keep it there. Sun on my face, like a gentle prayer. I am lighter now than I was before. I leave the old weight on the kitchen floor. The window holds a pale reflection of a woman learning slow how to carry her own footsteps without dragging what she knows. The world feels newly rinsed as I let the brighten grow. Even the shadows look kinder, falling thin across the grass. I don't need to chase the morning, I just let the moment pass, and it passes through me like water through glass. Sun on my face, and I keep it there. Sun on my face, like a gentle keeps the sun. A bowl of pears on the step. One by one they bruise and bloom. The evening comes through the screen and rests against my cheek. I am safe here, even while I let it go. I am held here by the air I cannot hold. The white sky leans and stays with me. My shoes are lined by the door. Their dust is all fallen off. A kettle cools on the stove like a thought I do not need. The yard goes quiet at last. A sparrow folds into dusk. I do not have to grip what was never mine to keep. The dark can come as a friend and sit beside my knees. I learn the shape of release with my hands open at ease. I am safe here, even while I let it go. I am held here by the air I cannot hold. The white sky leans and stays with me. I fold my hands in the window light. Gray sky leaning on the glass. Your old scarf hangs on the chair like it knows the shape of last night. The kettle cools in silence while the street turns soft and slow, and every little shadow lets the ache inside me go. Rain on the pane, take the salt from my cheeks. Rain on the pane, make this broken heart speak. Wash the bruised edge of the words we left unsaid, till the room feels lighter and I can breathe again. The floorboards keep their patient creak as the wind taps up by him. I trace the rim of my teacup and let the quiet in. If morning brings your name back, I won't run from what it means. left unsaid, till the room feels lighter and I can breathe again.
The chair by the glass, where your jacket won't swing. The table still knows the shape of that evening. I ordered tea with two hands around the cup and watched the steam rise, like something learning to let go. Smiled when I asked for mint, as if small things could change a whole season. No sugar today, just the clean edge of warmth and my own breath moving steady through the room. Buses keep coming. Inside, the spoon rests still. I stir once, then stop and listen to the quiet. There's a new road in my chest, not bright, not loud, just open. I found a cup in the sink with rain still holding its shape. The window kept a small gold thread across the table's edge. You left a pair on the sill and a note folded into squares. I read your careful little loop like something meant to stay. This morning had a softer name. Once the kettle came to life, the steam rose up like a patient bird and hovered in the light. I walked through the back gate slow, past the time and the leaning post. The air was rinsed and open wide, like it had just remembered me. If I have been made by losses, then let them turn me kind. Let every cracked and waiting thing be proof the world can mend. I keep a little room for hope where the old heart seasons end, and in that room your quiet face returns without a sound. Now evening
Over laundry lines in stone, I hear the creek begin again. Behind the orchard row, I do not need a thunderclap to know I'm still alive. Some gentle hands can lift the dark and teach the heart to rise.
I lie in the grass with the blades against my sleeves. The sky keeps moving slow, like it has nowhere to be. A cloud drifts over me, round as a page turned loose. I watch it take a shape I used to call the truth. And every drifting edge looks a little like a name I held too hard for years, then learned to set a flame. Carry it on, little white sail. Take what I kept and let it go pale. Carry it on, soft in the blue. If I release it here, it can't cling to you. There's a laugh from long ago, bent inside the breeze. A porch light in my chest that still knows how to ache and breathe. But the day is wide and kind, and nothing asks me to stay. So I unclench my hands and watch the shapes drift away. One by one they cross in a slow and silent row, like thoughts I used to guard, now free to lose their form. Carry it on, little white sail. Take what I kept and let it go pale. Carry it on, soft in the blue. If I release it here, it can't cling to you. This one is my mother's voice. This one is a door in rain. This one is a field at dusk that knew my private pain. I bless them and I wave as they loosen from my sight. Nothing leaves me empty when it leaves me right. I lie in the grass till the evening cools my skin. The sky keeps moving slow, and I move with it within. Set the little kettle down and watch the steam unspool, one bruised hour at a time, out of the enamel blue. The dried flowers bloom in water like a lantern learning gold, and my hands still shaking lightly find a place to fold. There was a day that pressed so hard I almost took my name. Now the window holds a softer shape and nothing feels the same. Chamomile steam in the evening bowl, soft little song for a tired soul. tree, warm through the ribs, warm through the ache, gentle enough for the heart to wake. The book again to the page I left behind. The room keeps its small quiet, like it knows to be kind. The spoon rests by the saucer with a tiny silver shine, and the hard part of the day falls loose, line by line. There was a storm behind my eyes that kept me from the door. Now the steam walks up and meets my face and asks for just a little more. Let the hurt be small for once, let it set its bags down slow. Let the tea take what it can take and leave the rest to go. I do not need to hurry, I do not need to break. I can be a little tender for my own sweet sake. Chamomile steam in the evening bowl, soft little sun for a tired soul. I let it work on the edges of me, slow as a tide under a paper tree, warm through the ribs, warm through the ache, gentle enough for the heart to wake. I left the porch light on for the shadow I became when I stayed through the cold months. An answer to your name, I held the torn up promises like rain in my hands. I love past every warning, I love past what I could stand. So let the ache be honest, let the old bruise fade. I carried your weight in silence, and I carried mine all the same. I forgive the door I didn't close, I forgive the road I chose, I forgive the girl who waited there with her hands full of hope. I forgive the years I gave away, I forgive the shape of pain. I let you go, I let me stay. There was a chair by the window where I learned to dim my voice, and a cup gone cold beside me from 1,000 half-made choices. I mistook endurance for love and hunger for a home, but the dark can wear your features when you sit with it too long. Now I name the cost out loud, and I set it down, not as a failure, just a life I carried through the ground. I forgive the door I didn't close, I forgive
her hands full of hope. I forgive the years I gave away. I forgive the shape of pain. I let you go. I let me stay. If tenderness arrives late, it still arrives. If I was lost in that old room, I was only trying to survive. So I bless the worn out stepping stones. I bless the turning tide. I bless the one who loved too long, and the one who kept her light inside. Tonight I walk without the weight of almost every blame. Just a quiet kind of mercy in my own name. I came down to the water alone with sand in my shoes. The horizon held still like it had news for me. Your voice was a shell in my palm, warm from the day. Then the tide reached in, touched the edge of my toes, pulled away slow like it knew what to teach. I'm learning to trust what comes and goes. The sea keeps its promise in the way it lets me go. I stand here open. I stand here enough. Its script on the darkening shore, then erased every line before I could hold it. My hands stayed low, my heart stayed awake, and the tide reached in, touched the edge of my toes, pulled away slow like it knew what to teach. If I lose my grip, let the water be kind. Let it take what is heavy and leave what is mine. I will not fight what I cannot name. I'm learning to trust what comes and goes. The sea keeps its promise in the way it lets me